Welcome. I'm Dr. Morgana Colombo, board certified dermatologist at Integrated Dermatology of Reston, and I would like to welcome you to our virtual event, The Four Pillars of Skin Longevity, Transforming Skin Through Perimenopause and Beyond with Vidaderma. I encourage you to stay till the end of this presentation for a live Q&A. At the end, you can submit your questions, and then I'll be able to answer them live for you. Everybody who attends will also get an email with a coupon for 25% off on any Vidaderma, protocols or products that you want to, try. Let me start with something most women don't want to hear. Your skincare didn't stop working. Your biology changed. And if you've noticed your skin suddenly becoming drier, more sensitive, less firm, or just dull, even though you're using even better products than ever, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just using a strategy that no longer matches your skin. I'm Dr. Morgana Colombo, a board certified dermatologist. And what I see every single day in my clinic is this: women are upgrading their products, but no one taught them how to upgrade their approach. So the real problem is hormonal skin aging. This is not just aging, it's hormonal aging. Starting in your late 30s and accelerating through your 40s and beyond, your estrogen levels begin to fluctuate and decline. And estrogen is not just about reproduction, it directly controls how your skin functions. Estrogen supports collagen production, hydration, hyaluronic acid levels, skin thickness, barrier function, healing, and repair. When estrogen starts to decline, your skin doesn't just age, it functions differently. And that's why your old routine stops working. And here is where most people go wrong. They try to fix this by adding more products, more acids, more steps, more retinol. And what happens? More irritation, more inflammation, worse skin. So instead of thinking in terms of products, I want you to start thinking in terms of biology, because there are four core systems in your skin that are changing. And if you don't address all four, you will never get consistent results. So I'm going to talk about the four pillars of skin longevity. Pillar one, barrier or skin barrier strength. This is the most overlooked and the most important. You cannot look younger if your barrier is impaired. What's happening? Lipid production decreases, skin loses water faster, becomes reactive and sensitive. What you're going to see is dryness, redness, irritation from products that used to work. And the mistake that people make, they keep using strong actives on a weak barrier. They don't nurture their skin barrier enough. The solution, you rebuild the barrier first. Ingredients that matter: ceramides, fatty acids, cholesterol, hyaluronic acid, and niacinamide. If your barrier is unhealthy, nothing else you do will work properly. Just remember that, guys, really critical. So this is where I recommend products like our Vidaderma Hydrator and Restorer. They restore function, they're not just moisturizers. They help your skin barrier work better for you. Pillar number two is collagen architecture. This is what most people think anti-aging is. But collagen loss is not just about wrinkles, it's about structure. What's happening? Your collagen production slows, collagen breakdown accelerates, skin becomes thinner and less resilient. And what you see, sagging, fine lines, loss of firmness. And the mistake is either not addressing collagen, not doing anything for that, or overusing irritating retinoids that damage the skin barrier. So the solution is you want to stimulate collagen strategically. So you want to use ingredients such as retinoids properly dosed. You want retinoids that you tolerate, not irritating ones. So this is why I prefer advanced retinoids like our HPR that we use in our products, because they activate collagen with much less irritation. You can also use ingredients such as vitamin C, peptides, and topical estrogen, such as the plant-based estrogen promoter genistein, which we use in our products to promote collagen and also hydration. And the one good thing about this, it doesn't make melasma worse. So you want to use products such as our Reverser 1 and 2 that have retinoid, booster with vitamin C, plumper that has hyaluronic acid and peptides, age eraser and phytoester age eraser that have your vitamin C, peptides, and then the phytoester age eraser has that estrogen promoter genistein. Now, pillar number 3, cellular defense. This is the pillar almost no one talks about, but it's critical. What's happening? Increased oxidative stress and environmental damage accumulate. Skin becomes more vulnerable. What you see? Dullness, pigment changes, accelerated aging. And the mistake is skipping antioxidants or relying only on sunscreen. The solution, you actively protect the skin at a cellular level. Some key ingredients are going to be vitamin C, ferulic, vitamin E, quinatin, which offers growth factor support, and sunscreen, particular a mineral sunscreen. So if you're not protecting your skin during the day, you're undoing everything you do at night. So keep that in mind, guys. And with our Vidaderma products, our booster, our tinted and dewy tint sunscreen, are great product. And our age eraser and phytoester age eraser also have, great antioxidants and very tolerable formulation mixed in that. Now let's talk about pillar number 4, radiance and renewal. This is about how your skin turns over. What's happening? Cell turnover slows, pigment becomes uneven, and skin looks dull. What you see, dark spots, rough texture, loss of glow, which people hate. The mistake usually is overdoing, being too aggressive, over exfoliating, or using harsh acids daily. And your solution is controlled strategic renewal. So you want gentle renewal with agents like tolerable retinoids, such as our HPR, azelaic acid, kojic acid, or butane, gentle exfoliation. And with our products, you can think about our reverser with the retinoid, clarifier with azelaic acid, and the brightener pads that have kojic acid and arbutin. So to kind of put everything together, here's the key. You don't need 10 steps. You need a routine that touches the 4 pillars in the right balance. So a simple protocol could be in the morning, you wash with our cleanser, or wash, that's not going to strip your barrier, hydrator for barrier support, booster, antioxidant, and our mineral sunscreen. At night, you're going to wash with the wash, gentle again, use our retinol reverser 1 or 2, alternating every other night, and then you want barrier repair with the restorer or our phytoester age eraser or age eraser. And then of course, you can customize things based on your skin. So to close this, I want to leave you with this. You are not aging incorrectly. You were just never given the right framework. This is not about fighting your aging. It's about understanding it. At Vidaderma, everything we do is based on this idea, not anti-aging, it's skin longevity, skin function, skin resilience. And if you want help building your own personalized protocol, you can go on our vidaderma.com page, take our quiz, or explore the whole system at Vidaderma. So I wanted to thank you for attending our webinar today. We will be emailing everybody that attended with a code for 25% off on any product you want to try. I 100% believe in this line. I have worked very hard to create a line and protocols within this line to help women as they go through perimenopause and menopause. Stay tuned for our Q&A. I'm going to be here live with you. So if you have any questions, just shoot me some questions and I'll be happy to answer. Hi, everyone. I'm here to answer whatever questions you may have. Okay, let me look at the questions. So here I see one question. Is it okay to use estrogen cream on the face? I actually really love this question. Um, yes, it is okay to use estrogen cream on the face. We have a few options in the market. There's topical estriol, topical estradiol, and then you have your plant-based, phytoestrogens. Um, the estriol, estradiol, they are prescription. You need to either go to an online service that does those prescriptions or come to a dermatologist. We can give you a prescription. The plant-based ones are not prescription. The effect is not going to be giant. They're not going to, make you 10 times younger, but they do help when it comes to giving you a little bit of collagen and promoting a little bit of hydration. And one issue I will say with estriol and estradiol, if you have a tendency for melasma, it may actually significantly aggravate your melasma. So I would not recommend. If you have bad melasma, don't go that route. The plant-based one is actually okay if you have melasma. And then the other issue with specifically the estradiol, which is a little bit stronger, is dosing. You really want to use just a little bit on your maybe face and neck every day. You don't want to overdo it because then you run into systemic issues. You're going to have systemic levels of estrogen. And if you have like a history of breast cancer, or you have like a hypercoagulable situation or high risk for blood clots, that could be an issue. But I do think that there is definitely a role for estrogen promoters on the skin. I personally use the plant-based one because it's safer, it's just easier to use. Here I have another patient asking me, almost overnight, I developed vertical lines across my neck, had already developed horizontal tech neck. But crazy how quickly it happened. Can topicals help or do I need procedures? So let me get into this situation. So there's a talk about two ages where aging just becomes very noticeable to people. One of them is like mid 40s, like 44. The other one is 60. Um, so at 44, from having lost collagen since you're in your 20s, and sun damage and just aging, eventually you hit the threshold where aging becomes very noticeable. And neck and around the eyes are typically the first areas where you're going to notice that, because the skin is thinner and it doesn't renew as fast in those areas. Can topicals help with that? Well, it depends on the severity of what you have. So if you're just starting to notice your neck, a good neck cream with retinol and peptides can definitely help. And even taking collagen powder can help. We have one. It's our, eye neck complex. It's a pretty good one. Um, but of course, if you're seeing very noticeable horizontal lines, vertical bands, then your best approach, of course, is still to do skincare, but to also add procedures for vertical lines. We think about platysmal bands showing up, so Botox injections. um, Horizontal lines, Botox and fillers can help. And for the whole area, because collagen loss is a huge contributor to this, procedures that promote collagen can be very helpful. I love, love, love our ultra clear laser with coring. And then we top that off with hyperdilute radius, amazing for promoting collagen. Old therapy, microneedling with radio frequency, even Fraxel can also be helpful. But the ultra clear laser with coring topped with hyperdilute radius is like the best treatment, non-invasive treatment ever for neck aging. You can do that in your 40s, 50s, 60s, really any age response. Another question I have here: besides sunscreen, what's the most important product I should use? Um, so sunscreen is the number one product you should use. And the key with sunscreen is consistency. You want to find a product that you like and tolerate and use it every day. I tend to favor the mineral sunscreens. They're safer, they have less toxic agents, and they just block everything. Especially if you have melasma, they're significantly, more effective. If you have melasma, using tinted sunscreens is also more effective. The tint has iron oxide, which protects you against visible light, which is a thing with melasma. But besides sunscreen, the number one thing you should be doing as you age is hydration, moisturizing well, because if your skin is dry, is just going to look so much worse. Um, Hydration with a moisturizer that has ceramides, hyaluronic acid, um, and proper, fatty acids, cholesterol, those kind of ingredients is critical, especially the ceramides. The ceramides literally help rebuild your skin barrier, which gets like leaky as you get older. So as you get older, you can drink water, it just evaporates. You can put regular creams on, they just don't stay. So a cream that has the ceramides that basically seal stuff in your skin is critical. um Also, if your skin is not properly sealed with, and your barrier is not good, even if you put actives on, they don't even work. They don't even stay on the skin long enough for you to have like an effect. So number one, sunscreen. Number two, proper moisturizing. And then, I'm a huge, of course, the number three ingredient I have to say, if you can tolerate, is retinol. That's the gold standard. It's the one that has been around the longest. Science is behind it. It promotes collagen, exfoliation, renews your skin. Um, it's the golden ingredient to this day. The only issue with retinol is that it can be irritating, in particular to women as they age, or people with rosacea. So in that category, you can still try a retinol, but maybe favor an over-the-counter one because they tend to be gentler. And the key with retinols is slow and consistent. So you want to start with like a lower potency, like an over-the-counter one, and not really use it every day. Maybe once a week, twice a week, and if that's all you can tolerate, that's fine. And some people are never going to tolerate. Then in that case, peptides or a substitution for collagen promotion. But I would say sunscreen, moisturizing, retinols, they're going to be the top three. And then, vitamin C, peptides, or other ingredients are good too. Um, But being a dermatologist who does lasers and offer treatments, I'm going to honestly say to you guys that skincare will help you, will maintain your skin, but doing considering treatments is going to give you so much more improvement. So lasers, they literally reset your biological clock on your skin. They will make your skin like younger. They activate genes and parts of your DNA that are kind of like not working as well as you age, and literally turn the clock back on your skin. So I'm a huge believer and fan of lasers. Injectables are very helpful. So there's so many things you can do nowadays to help this aging process if you want. Of course, all preference. um so here says here also, um uh, so my skin has been allergen reactive, periodic hives. I've been seeing allergist who's tackling it through oral meds. Which products in your line should I continue using uh, when the hives are active to help the barrier, or should I stop? Okay, so when you have hives, you probably want to avoid the irritating ingredients. And that would be potentially retinol, vitamin C, but you can still use gentle nurturing ingredients, so you can still do moisturizer. So our hydrator, restore, they're still fine. Even if hives, they're probably going to help you. um you can still of course do a gentle cleanser. Our cleanser has this anti-inflammatory ingredient in it that actually helps irritation, called evodia. It's like a chamomile herb. So you can use that. And sunscreen, of course you can continue that with or without hives. The age eraser is a moisturizer that has a bunch of actives. You could try using it a couple times a week, even with the hives, but and see how you react. But that could be a little irritating. But nothing with actives till the hives get better. Um, and then here another question. I never had. Oh, here, can you please talk about the benefits of hyaluronic acid? I use a cream twice a day on damp face before other products. And how often should I use vitamin C? So hyaluronic acid is amazing. What it does is a molecule that binds water. So if you combine hyaluronic acid with something with ceramides that then locks in that water, what you get is tons of hydration. So hyaluronic cream, specifically one that has ceramide in it, is amazing for improving your skin barrier and making your skin very glowy, plump, hydrated. Our hydrator is exactly that. The other combination, we have our plumper, which is a hyaluronic serum with peptides. You could do that and then top it with the restore that has the ceramides. But hyaluronic acid can be used multiple times a day. It just gives you tons of hydration, but it should be locked in with something so it gives you better results. Vitamin C ideally should be used once a day. If you're sensitive, maybe every other day. Morning is typically the time to use it because it makes your sunscreen more effective. But our vitamin C is lipid soluble, so it kind of sits inside your skin. So it could be used at night if you want to. We have the serum booster, which is a little bit stronger. So if you have very sensitive skin, I would probably avoid that. And then we also have vitamin C in our age eraser and phytoester age eraser. The vitamin C in those products is much gentler. It's a lower strength, and that one even people with sensitive skin can tolerate. I cannot do vitamin C serum, but the age eraser is amazing. Gives you vitamin C in that product, gives you a lot of glow. Vitamin C is like a key glow product. And let's see here. Let me see some of the questions I'm not seeing. Hold on one second, guys. Oh, here. I use an under eye cream. What do you recommend for eyelid and underbrow? Um, so for under eye area, ideally you want to have something with retinol, and peptides and hydration. So our eye neck cream, I like it's gentle. It has a very gentle retinol. You can do eye and neck. The eye and neck skin is basically the same, so that's why we have a product that goes to both. If you have deeper wrinkles and your skin's not super sensitive, our eye refiner duo is really nice. One of the products has the retinol and growth factors and hydrating ingredients, and then the other little tube has TCA, which is an acid that gives you like exfoliation and can get into like deeper lines. So that product is great for like men, for women with like deeper wrinkles and skin that can take it. If your skin is super sensitive, then you're not going to tolerate any of those. Then the eye refresher is the one you should try. It's basically like the plumper. It's hyaluronic and peptides. The one thing is the peptide in the eye refreshers are Geraldine, which is a peptide that temporarily gives you almost like a Botox like effect under the eye. So it's nice. It's easy, hydrates, and it kind of like temporarily improves the appearance of wrinkles. Um, so so I've been reading about different retinoids. I'm too sensitive for tretinoin. I've been exploring different ones. So let's talk about retinoids. So retinols over the counter, there's different ones. There's, retinol, retinaldehyde. There's our HPR. And the difference is the steps you have to convert all these ingredients into the active ingredient that binds the retinoic acid receptor. So retinol and retinaldehyde tend to be milder. They have more steps of conversion. The one we have, the HPR, binds directly to the receptor, so it's effective. However, not irritating like tretinoin. So that's why I picked the product with this specific molecule. It's a third generation retinol. So if you want a retinol that doesn't irritate but can give you like efficacy, I would consider ours. It binds directly but doesn't irritate. We have a reverser one, reverser two. Reverser one is milder. If you have sensitive skin, even I wouldn't even use that every night. I would start with the reverser one once a week, then eventually twice a week, and then if that's all you could tolerate, that's fine. And always pair it with a nice hydrating moisturizer. For people that are already used to retinol or men, I would start with the reverser too. Um, but yeah, like I said, retinol is the gold standard ingredient. So if you can find a way to use it, it's ideal and recommended. Um, so what about I'm having a question about hands, what to do with the hands for spots on the hands. So spots on the hands, your best bet is either laser or liquid nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen can leave a little discoloration. Laser is safer. Specifically, we have the pico laser, different wavelengths that we can target. We can treat anybody with any kind of skin. That's my favorite approach for spots on the hands. And of course, sunscreen on the hands or gloves or protect your hands so you don't get as many sunspots. Then I have a question here about acne. I've had acne my whole life, but now post menopause, um, you know, I'm still getting pimples. Okay, so acne, can be a lifetime thing, especially actually in perimenopause when the hormones are up and down. A lot of people will feel like teenagers again. They'll have like a ton of like hormonal acne, but then it's teenage acne with sensitive skin. So it's a little bit trickier to treat that. For that population, I love spironolactone, which, stabilizes their hormones, really addresses the acne. Well, even postmenopause, spironolactone is like the way to control acne. And of course, retinol that you can tolerate, topical dapsone. There's a topical spironolactone called Winlevi, topical antibiotics. Those are all good options for acne. But keep in mind, if you're perimenopausal, postmenopausal, you do not want your skin to be dry. That's going to make you break out even more. So you want your barrier to be supported. You want a moisturizer. So don't be afraid of moisturizer. And let's see here. We talked about the neck. Um, oh, yeah. And then besides, along with skincare, what treatments do you recommend to help skin look great? Okay, so skincare, like I said, is critical, and it's really critical so that you don't have to waste even more money on treatments, so they last longer. But when it comes to dermatology, the treatments I recommend are injectables. Botox is like the easiest thing to do. It's cheap, doesn't hurt. It's a great way to maintain, your forehead lines, the 11s, crow's feet. And if you do it over time, it actually keeps your face a little bit more elevated because it decreases the effect of gravity. It's great for neck. So I love Botox, just sport. Um, I also love, as we're aging, Sculptra on the lateral face, temples. It's a biostimulator that we inject, and it promotes collagen. So it gives you better skin, but also a little bit of like volume, which is really important. And Radias, which is another biostimulator with hyperdilute, and that's also great to promote collagen and glow your skin. Of course, I'm a huge fan of lasers, ablative and non-ablative fractional lasers, Fraxel, Ultra Clear, CO2. Those are amazing to renew your skin, make you glowier, tighten your pores, make your skin overall better. And then I love, the skin tighteners. Elacore, if you're really sagging, you don't want to go surgical, it's a microcoring device that takes little pieces of skin and allows you to get tightening in with this micro cutting without going surgical. Microneedling radio frequency. I love alt therapy, which is this ultrasound device that heats the lower face and promotes collagen. Great for younger people, 40s, 50s. It's a collagen promoter and amplifier. So lots of good options for people, with the goal being to not age, but to just look and feel good for where you are in your life, for whatever stage of life you're at. You're not going to look 20 when you're 40 or 30 when you're 50. It's just, no matter what you do. But what can happen is you can be 50, 60, 70 and feel good about yourself and very confident. And that can be through skincare procedures, or lifestyle, exercising, diet. It all matters. And so let's see here. All right, what are the differences between the two age erasers I recommended? So the age erasers are both our boosted moisturizers that have a lot of the active ingredients we recommend for, aging and longevity, except for retinol, and that's on purpose. We don't want to put retinol in a moisturizer because some people really don't tolerate retinol every day. So we want them to just have the option to do retinol sporadically. But the age eraser has both of them have a tolerable vitamin C, niacinamide, ferulic, vitamin E, growth factor, keratin, ceramides, hyaluronic acid. So everything you need except for the retinol. The difference between the two is the phytoester age eraser also has this phytoestrogen, this plant-based estrogen promoter called genistein. So going back to that, promoting a little estrogen on the skin, which is really good for like glow, hydration, little collagen. Um, I personally, I mean, they're both good, but I personally use the phytoester one because I love that little, estrogen promotion on the skin. And even if you're on HRT, it's a safe one because it's not estradiol or estriol. Um, and so this is it, guys. I hope this was helpful. If you don't know what to do still, come to our office. We can help you. Um, you can go on our site, vidaderma.com, and watch the videos. We have so many videos there that can help you, can educate you. And the other thing is, on the site, we have a skin longevity quiz, which if you answer, it will give you like a treatment routine recommendation, a protocol. Because what really works is a proper protocol. You don't want to just use one product, or you want to use the proper protocol to address your particular needs. So thank you so much for attending, and we're gonna email in the next few days all everybody that attended, and we're gonna give you a code for 25% off on any products you want to try. I personally, my favorites are going to be the phytoester age eraser, the wash. I know it's basic, but it cleanses and doesn't irritate. The dewy tint sunscreen, and I'm going to say the hydrator. If you have melasma, the brightener pads are everything. And if you have rosacea, the clarifier. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and I'll see you, I guess, in the office.